Hey everyone, I'm Ellen here at etrailer.com and we're taking a look at the LED trailer tail light. This is going to be a submersible LED light to give you the functions for your driver's side on your trailer. So the reason why this is particularly for the driver's side is because it also has an additional light at the bottom for your license plate, so that can be illuminated at all times as well. And it's kind of a boxy light, but everything in here is sealed. The housing here does have a couple little holes, so water could get in there, but all the actual diodes, all the actual electrical components are sealed with a potting material, so no water is going to cause any issues with the important components. So while water might get in there, it's not going to cause any damage. If we take a look at this, I've got this already illuminated with just the running light function, so you can see that there. And if I grab my license plate, you can see how it does illuminate that for us, so we can maintain DOT compliance. And if I zoom in a little bit, you can take a closer look at the other functions. So there's the license plate, that's how bright it's going to be roughly. The light overall, that's the running light function. If we hit the brakes, it will brighten up. And if we hit the turn signal, same thing. On the side, we'll have an additional light there, so it's going to also be our side marker light as well. So it gives us a lot of things all in one unit. I'll turn the studio light back on when we can talk about more of the details. The way to wire this up, it's going to have 3 wires. So our brown wire will be our running light circuit. The yellow wire will be our brake and turn signal, or our stop and turn signal. And then the white wire is our ground. The white wire does already have a ring terminal in place, so that's one less thing that we have to worry about ourselves. You can see there's several notches in the back here, so that kind of helps to route the wiring. You can smush it in there and it'll kind of hold those wires, so it lets you route them around or just straight down or around the other way. And then there's also a slot on this side as well, so you can pull it towards the inner side of the trailer. So it gives you some options so you're not crushing those wires by having this mounted flat. It does come with this hardware to mount it up, so we'll get a flange nut, a flat washer, and a carriage bolt. And we'll get 2 for our light. So they just slide into this little groove here and hold in place. There's kind of a little notch where it holds up, so it'll stay in place so you're not having to hold those the whole time while you're trying to mount this in place. I'll give you some measurements on the distance between those in just a moment. But first I want to show you the inside of this light. It might be kind of hard to see, but inside that bottom portion where our license plate light is, you can kind of see how it's shiny there. That's that potting material that I'm talking about. It's kind of like an epoxy, and it just fills up the gaps and it provides that weather-tight seal. Same thing for our front diodes. Again, it's kind of hard for you to see. I'm trying to move it around so you can see how it's reflective, but there's just like a layer of that epoxy sealing everything in. And again, same thing for our 2 side round lights there. So all the wiring is sealed up. At the back, our wires coming out here are also sealed in place, so we shouldn't have to worry about any water getting in here causing any issues. There are 2 little holes at the bottom, so water can get in. So if you see this full of water, don't panic. It's okay. Also, that those holes allow for condensation to evaporate. Temperature changes happen. Water can collect in here even if it is sealed, so by having those 2 holes at the bottom, it lets the air get in there and dry out any kind of condensation that might build up over time. So shouldn't have any issues with that. Now, as far as the dimensions or the size, overall, it's about 8 inches long, maybe just shy of 8 inches, by 2 7/8 inches deep and 2 7/8 inches tall. Our mounting holes, or excuse me, our mounting hardware, those are spaced apart by 2 inches center to center. This works off of 12-volt DC power. It's going to be a red lens over white LEDs. You can see that there's also a reflector built into the housing as well. So even if the light isn't on, it's still going to give you some visibility while you're parked or while those lights are off. The power draw at 12 volts is going to be 0.19 amps for our stop and turn signal, and then for our taillights it's going to be 0.09 amps. So very low power draw for such a nice bright light. Has a total of 14 diodes, a limited lifetime warranty on the light. It is DOT compliant. And that's pretty much all there is to it for our LED trailer tail light. Again, it's a lot of things all in one light. It does have a companion that you can find right here at etrailer.com. You can find that using part number PE87RV. It's going to be the same thing, just minus that light at the bottom for the license plate. Well, I hope this video has been helpful in deciding if this is the right light for you. Again, I'm Ellen here at etrailer.com. Thanks for watching.